Welcome back, 814 Podcast. We are now joined by a special guest, a man that broke records that haven't been broken since before the cell phone, the telephone existed. He is a Blue Jays legend already. It is our guy, Gate 14 guy, Davis Schneider. What's up, brother? How we doing, man?
Good, man. How you guys doing? Good?
Doing good. Where's the mustache, brother? What are you doing? You got
And
that little fucking Ryan Gosling look going here.
it's the off season, I gotta fill it out first, and then go back mustache when I get down to spring training. It's gonna
I'll
be.
tell
bad.
you what. The females watching this show on YouTube, it's about to be Campbell's fucking panty soup when they see you with a full blown beard. I'll be honest, you look great. You look fucking incredible.
I usually have a beard. It was just literally kind of this season where I got a mustache, but I gotta keep it. I'm bringing it back.
You cannot go away from that.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks though, Schneider, because you are good looking with the beard. Obviously, you and I are both beard guys. People have seen the picture of me without a beard in grade 10. It's a tough look. Do you hate that though? Like, do you hate, like, obviously you're like good looking with the beard, like I mentioned, and then now you got to go back to a mustache where it's kind of you're kind of going away from like that. You know what I mean? Or do you like the mustache?
No, I do like the mustache. The only thing about it is that I have to shave every day, basically around it, so that can be a pain in the ass. But like, I like having both. Like, it doesn't really matter to me. But just the whole shaving aspect, I kind of hate. So like in the off season, I don't feel like doing anything every day. So the beard is the way to go.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, the beard just looks weird right now, man. I gotta say it. I was so used to the mustache.
So like, I guess it is weird, but this is like normal to me. Like having a mustache is kind of weird. So like, I guess the mustache is the only time you ever see me. So
yeah, that's
as
fair.
long as you step in that box with a mustache, I'm gonna be fine with it.
yeah, no. First game spring training, the stash is gonna be there. Don't worry.
We'll be there, Schneids. We'll be locked in. We're gonna get some content going.
Hell yeah! Did you just come down to the right or?
Yeah, we'll be there the 1st to the 6th. But let's address the elephant in the room, Schneids. All right. A couple months ago, or a month ago, you went on a certain podcast against a mortal enemy of mine. Ernie Clement went out of his way. Like, obviously, it's a joke that I was mad about it, but Ernie Clement texted me. He's like, "Dude, I'm so sorry, bro. I didn't know you hated this guy." What happened here? Did you know what happened? Like, were you a little in the back of your mind, like, oh, my Gate 14 boys, they hate this motherfucker? Like, where were you at with that?
Literally zero clue. Like, he contacted me. I met him during the season from like him interviewing me, but I kind of like, there was just so many people I couldn't really like kind of know and no names. And he contacted me, so you're gonna come on this interview with me, Ernie, and Spence. And I was like, yeah, if they're going on it, I'll go on it for sure. And then I didn't know anything about it. And then you texted us, or I saw like something that you put out. And then Ernie told me too, and I was like, "Oh shit, I feel."
That guy is the biggest piece of shit. Listen, I hope you listen to it. Is the worst human being ever. And I'm fine saying that. That's probably the only reason why we won't probably get credentialed for spring training, because I was saying to Avery like I was gonna wear a Blocked by Wilderness shirt when we get in the locker room, so that probably won't be able to happen. But anyways,
he's a professional reporter. He's a professional reporter.
It's water under the bridge is fine. It's funny because all the comments under it are like tagging me, like, oh no. Like, everyone was tagging us when he announced about that interview. So I was like, they didn't fucking know. You're not in the mud like we are. So I get it.
Yeah, I had zero clue anything about it. If I knew, I would have been like, but yeah, I had zero clue. So, and then I didn't know anything about it. And then Ernie told me, I was like, damn, that's unfair.
Ernie was legit apologizing. And I was like, listen, Ernie, you're a pro baseball player. You don't have to fucking apologize to me because you went on a show of my enemy. But it is funny. Ernie's the man. So I do respect Ernie going out of his way to apologize to me. That's why he's one in a million.
We need to know about that golf tournament, you and Ernie, how that went.
Yeah, I sucked ass. I mean, Ernie played well. But, I mean, Romano was there. It was me, Romano, Ernie, and Witt, obviously, with the 3 or 4 Blue Jay guys there. But, yeah, it was a lot of fun, though. I mean, there was a bunch of guys. Obviously, Smoltz was like the big headline there. Witt was the big one too, and like there was a couple other guys like Will Myers and everything, Zach Eflin. But it was a hell of a time down there. Like the 4 days going out, we went out to Disney, me, Witt, and one of his buddies. It was a lot of fun.
Tyler Clippard won that event, right?
Yeah, so Witt won like the gross, and then Clippard won the net. And Clippard, he shot 4 under the first day, which is crazy. Like, he should be a professional golfer. Like,
he shot 4 under?
Yeah, he shot 4 under the first. He was 4 under through 5 holes. He was the group behind me, and every time I looked back, he was in the middle of the fairway. He hit every green. It was incredible.
Yeah, that makes me sick. Ernie's a stick, actually. That's what I hate about Ernie. Ernie is good at everything. Like he said, so we have a group chat with him, Curtis and Alto and Avery, and he texts us his beer league hockey stats. Like he gets like 7 points a fucking game. And then he'll golf and shoot like 3. He'll shoot like a 74, 75. But he said you're kind of a stick though, too, though.
I'm hit or miss. I mean, the first time I ever played with Ernie, I shot a 76 at Oak Hill in Rochester. That was like a really good round. And so, but ever since then, every time I've been playing with Ernie, I sucked. So like it was only downhill from there. But I have a good round here and there. But every score finds a nut here and there. So I mean, you played with Ernie and Luplo before, right?
Yeah, I played with her. They dusted me. Honestly, I think Ernie beat me by like 22 strokes. I want to say I was just there to be there. I literally said to them on hole 17 and 18, I was like, if you guys like, because they were they were facing each other, and I was like, if you guys want me out of the way just to caddy, I will pick my ball up and just not play. You guys could just go at it, because they were like in the low 70s and they were going at it. And Ernie is just, he's so good at golf. It's actually crazy how fucking good he is, but he's really just good at everything, to be honest with you. But he's a fun guy to go golfing with for sure. He gets me and him. He wasn't doing this, but I remember the first time I met him, I pulled a beauty move. It was 9 a.m. our tee off, and I go to the clubhouse, and I'm like, can I have 2 high noons? Ernie's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? It's like 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, and this guy's ripping high noons. I was just like, I got to pull a beauty move off for Ernie. Got to alpha the shit out of him. But yeah, he's a great guy to golf with.
It's like the same way he plays baseball. Like it doesn't even look like he's trying, but he's so good at it. Like he'll swing at like 400 feet. Doesn't even look like he's trying, because he's just so smooth at everything. Same way he plays golf. It's crazy.
I think we got to find a way to get into a match here. It can't be Johnny and I, but you and Ernie, we'll figure out, play a match.
Yeah.
Johnny doesn't have a driver.
Yeah, I don't have a driver. I sold it because I had to bat around with it. But yeah, no, I use a 2-iron. The 2-iron's fine. I actually might have sold my 2-iron too. I don't remember. But yeah, let's go to baseball shit here, Schneid. So last year, obviously, how would you kind of like talk about that season last year? Obviously, like you started out so hot, which in my opinion is like I say this for everything. When you start out too hot, you really fuck yourself, because then you set the expectations to the goddamn moon, and it's just like you have one bad stretch, everyone's like, oh my god, the Linsanity runs over. So how would you kind of rank your season last year, and what did you kind of learn from like the struggles you kind of had towards like the end of it?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of put it in the right way. It was just I did so well in the beginning, and then kind of like basically the opposite end. I did so bad. I went 0 for 31. So like it was literally basically the opposite ends of the spectrum. But if you would have told me before the season, 100 or so at bats, I'll be batting 276 with 8 homers. I'll be like,
so insane.
And it's like it's all perspective, but yeah, it was like to the point where I did so well and then kind of dropped off to like literally the bottom end. But that's just how baseball works. Like you always even out, in my opinion. Like especially like early on in your career, you can never really have. I mean, a couple guys, but like I said, you always are going to even out. And I feel like that kind of helped me kind of work on things. And there's still holes in my swing, but I was always going to stick with my approach. And you're always going to get out of it at some point. You just got to stick with what you're doing. And I feel like I did that. I didn't really get too down on myself. I was like, it is what it is. I was still working, still trying to get better, but it was always to the point where I was trying to get better every single day. And whether I was going good or going bad, you just kind of have that even keeled on both ends.
I think one of the big head scratchers for you is you get off to this really hot start, and then there was about a week where you didn't play much, right? So for you at that time, were you just kind of happy to be in the big leagues and, hey, I'm going to get my chance here soon, or kind of like stay ready? Obviously, you're going to stay ready for it, but what was that like week like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really play from like after the Cleveland series. I kind of started getting less playing time, and then the rumor Bo was going to come back, and I was like, all right, looks like I'm going back down to AAA. Like I was the last guy in, so I was going to be the first guy out. So I was like, all right, I'll go back to AAA. Like I made my debut. I did well. Hopefully I'll be back up here soon. And then, we DFA'd Paul, and I was like, shit, okay, I guess they're going to trust me to be up here. So that kind of put a little bit more confidence in me when Paul got DFA'd and I stayed. And then I started to play a little bit more, did well. And then obviously had a couple bad games and didn't play mostly at all at the end of the season. But that moment when in Cincinnati, when Bo came back.
When you saw us, you hit a home run after you saw us on the field.
That, like when I saw you guys, and then I think the next day, that's when Paul got DFA'd. that kind of helped me like mentally to be like, all right, I'm gonna stay here, so take advantage of it while you can. Because I figured, like I said, I was only gonna be up for maybe a couple days, couple of games, and then go back down. Like that was my original thought. But I did well and then stayed. And, I mean, it definitely worked out for the best. But originally, I thought I was going to go down really early. Just get my name up there and then go back down. But like I said, it worked out for the best.
Do you play with that mindset? I don't know if this is a good mindset to have, but maybe you can kind of talk me into like saying that you have it or not. But do you like have the mindset where you're right now kind of playing with house money, where you're just like, fuck it? I mean, obviously, late round draft pick, broke multiple records in your rookie debut. You're like the rookie season you had. Are you just kind of going with this mindset, like whatever happens, happens here? It's I'm playing with house money. I'm in the show. I can't believe it's happening. Or are your expectations now sky fucking high, where it's like you have to keep working to meet these crazy expectations?
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of both. Like you said, like late rounder, I'm happy just to be in the big leagues, but I definitely want to start and definitely want to contribute to this team, like as a starter in a good way. And, you got to have those high expectations. So there's something to reach for, because like, if you're just like kind of happy to be there, then you kind of lose sight of like, working towards something. So, but I want to be, a contributor to the team. I don't want to just be, whatever that role is this year. I could be in AAA or, start or be on a bench role, but I still am striving to be, a big key contributor on this team this year.
Who was the craziest person who reached out to you when the record breaking stuff happened?
Craziest? No one really crazy. I mean, I don't know. I had a couple ex-girlfriends reach out to me, I guess.
Fucking right, man. Yeah. They broke you up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. No one like famous or like a big name. I mean, I got a text from basically like, obviously, like Bo texted me that same night because he wasn't on the road. The first night I landed, Whit was the first guy that texted me and was like, yo, come to room, whatever, everyone's here, just meet everyone. So that kind of helped me kind of be a little bit more relaxed when I got that text from him. And Whit was like, he's the man. I mean, I wish, obviously he's a free agent, we could sign him back, but he was a hell of a teammate. He was a really good guy for a rookie like me to kind of meet and kind of keep under his wing, because I learned a lot from everyone too, even KK. I'm happy we have KK back because he's a hell of a dude and hell of a clubhouse guy. But Whit was a big contributor on kind of helping me, be relaxed and kind of go out there and just play.
What are you working on right now in your swing? Obviously, I think YJ's told us this, right, Avery, where you're 57% of the swings you make are at balls middle. Is that right, Avery? That sound correct? I forgot. I'm not a stat guy. I'm not quite fucking sure what it means, but what are you kind of working on with your swing right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think last year people kind of blew out the high fastball at like a little bit more than it should have been. Like obviously it's a hole of mine, but like it's not like I can't hit it. Like people are like, oh, he can never hit that fastball. I'm like, what? I've been playing pro baseball for like, obviously it's a hole of mine, but I still can make contact with it. It's not like it's my kryptonite or anything.
Yeah.
But it's probably more just kind of making sure my swing is in the right spot every single time, trying to get to that spot to where I can make that a swing every single time. Because I do have a good eye. I can definitely say that about myself, but sometimes I get a little bit too passive. But I think that makes me a really good hitter, is that sometimes I don't swing at that pitch that I can handle, and I take it rather than kind of grounding out or something like that. But probably a little bit more on the outside pitch, just making sure I can hit that with 2 strikes, because sometimes I take that a little bit too often. But, just making sure my swing's in a consistent spot on a day-to-day basis. And I feel like I've been doing that this all season, so it's been pretty good.
Yeah, we were trying to look through that too, because I remember the first thing was like, okay, now they're going to attack him with high fastballs. And you look at your numbers from last year too. The high fastball and up in the zone wasn't a problem for you at all. It's just like a classic thing. Hey, you're going to hit it up, no velocity, right?
Yeah. First game when I led off against Gavin Williams, he was throwing 97 at the top of the zone. And I was like, all right, can anyone really hit this? Like, it was at the top of the zone. So that kind of made it like the seam where I couldn't hit a high fastball, because he was throwing 97, 98 at the top of the zone. That's hard to hit.
Yeah.
But if I can learn that a little bit more, and because I'm a short guy, so the top of the zone is pretty small. So if I can learn to lay off those early in the count, and I feel like I'm in a good spot, because sometimes I do swing at them because they look so good.
Yeah.
Do you like the big league zone better for your eye? Did you think it was
No, hell yeah. The ABS and AAA was great. Are you kidding me? I'm short, so like the zone is literally 2 feet. Like it's so small to me. So like I like the ABS a lot because as a hitter, I mean, you want to have a smaller zone. Obviously, it sucks for the pitcher because they got to be perfect. But a zone's a zone for a reason. You shouldn't get those calls that are, a foot off the plate because that happened a pretty good amount for on our team last year. So, but the AAA zone was a lot better for me.
Yeah. I have a question here from Jeremiah. He goes to Holy Rosary Middle School in Milton. The question he has for you is was Johnny drunk at Paris, Texas, or did he alpha you and get noticed instead of you at the bar? Can you answer that for Jeremiah at Holy Rosary?
Dude, every time we turned a corner, oh my God, it's Johnny Torres. Are you kidding me? And I was just like standing next to him. I was like, holy shit, this guy's a fucking celebrity. But literally every time we turned a corner, there was a drunk dude just like dabbing you up. I was like, everyone in Toronto. It's crazy.
It's the game 14 difference, man. But yeah, no, that night was fun. So I'll tell a funny story. Our guy Curtis went to the bathroom. That was the night that Henny Cabrera was there.
Yeah.
And Curtis mangled, has no idea who Hennis Cabrera is. He's apparently complimenting his fucking necklace or whatever. He was wearing a chain.
Yeah,
and Alto comes into the bathroom and says to Curtis, that's fucking Genesis Cabrera. And they go up to him and they say, we're here with David Schneider. And he's like, who the fuck is David Schneider? Do you remember that story?
Funny. Because
is that
true.
like normal for big league clubhouses? I mean, obviously, you guys don't really kind of interact with relief pitchers that much, right? So is that like a normal thing?
Nah, it's probably not normal. He was probably definitely not sober. So it was probably such a quick interaction to where he's like, who? Something like that. But you said that because that is a good story that is like, we're in a bar and he's like, David Schneider's here. And he's like, who's that?
That was a good night, man. We had a great night. That was a really good fucking night. I had fun there. Yeah. But yeah, and going back into the baseball stuff, obviously you took a leap defensively. You played pretty well defensively as well. Is that something that you've also been working on, especially with the holes right now on the Toronto Blue Jays team? There's no third baseman, not really a second baseman besides 2B1, but is that something you've really emphasized this offseason, is working on that defense?
Yeah, I always felt like I was a really good, I would say average defender. Like I made the routine plays. That's something I really pride myself on, is making the routine plays. And then, there are plays where I can make a diving catch or a slide. But I really pride myself on the routine plays. And so the more on the defensive side, my arm strength, I've been working on that a lot more. So instead of just playing second, I can play left a little bit more, and they put me out there a little bit more because they trust me because I have a good arm. So my arm strength has definitely been a priority this all season. I'm doing an arm program that they had me doing. So arm strength has definitely been going up, which is good. But, defensive wise, I feel like you either have it or like you don't. Like when it comes to being like a really like a perennial all-star like defender, like Ernie, he just has it. Like he's a really good defender. And like I said, I work on the stuff that I need to work on defensively, but the routine plays is where I want to be key at. Because if you make the routine plays, you're going to be out on the field,
I think I saw on Twitter from probably your dad that you got your infield glove relaced. Is that going to make it through till next year?
Yeah, haven't got relaced since I guess the 80s. It looked pretty damn old. And then I was having a catch with my buddy. We were like doing defensive stuff at the place where I trained, and the shit broke. Like the finger broke, so my dad had to relace it. It looks the same, just had red laces now, but it definitely was on its last leg when it came to its laces. So, but it's good now. And I just got a new glove too. Like I ordered a new one. I'm sticking with the old one, but I have a good backup one.
What company did you go with?
Mizuno still.
No.
Wow. Canadian, riding with the Canadian company. I respect the fuck. Is that Mizuno's Canadian, right, Avery?
Oh no.
All right, never mind. Not the Canadian company, but we'll start that narrative for you that is a Canadian company. But last year, you got to face a ton of good pitching. Obviously, I mean, I was at that game you had, I believe it was against the Guardians, where you fucking launched off of, was it Bibby? I don't remember who it was. Or
that was a left-hander.
Yeah, Logan.
Okay, yeah, Logan Allen. Who was the coolest pitcher you got to face next year, where you kind of, obviously, like I'm talking about, 27th rounder, and you got to face this fucking guy in the batter's box, a guy you probably grew up watching or a guy you kind of idolized? Who was one guy last year that was that for you?
I mean, they were both in the same game, Scherzer and Chapman. Like that
Holy
was the
fuck.
Yeah. So I mean, Chapman struck me out my first at bat. Then I got a double, like down the line, like a ass out double down the third base line, and then I hit the homer off Chapman. But like it was just so surreal to me, like seeing Chapman on the mound because he is a monster. Like he is the big dude I ever seen. And it's funny because I remember before the at bat, Vladdy and Bo were telling me, he's like, dude, he's like not that good. Don't think just because he's a role as Chapman, he can just automatically get you out. And so them telling me kind of helped me just, be more relaxed in the box. And then he threw a 1-0 slider right down the middle. And, I didn't miss it. But those two guys were pretty cool to face because they're, Scherzer's definitely Hall of Famer. And Chapman, is borderline Hall of Fame if he keeps his good career up because he, been in the league for so long, throwing 105. He's that was pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I watched that at bat today because I went through the guys you hit home runs off of, and that was the one I noticed. He was 97-8 up and away, and then cock shot slider that you just launched over left field. I mean, it was like those are guys you watch growing up. That's got to be part of like the coolest stuff too. And I think for you facing those guys and going to those stadiums, what was a stadium for you that was like, okay, we're doing this? I've seen story like been to these stadiums before, but I'm finally getting to play there. What was your favorite one? You probably got to.
I mean, it was definitely two. I mean, the first weekend in Boston was fucking sick. Like debuting at Fenway Park was, a dream. Because like I grew up a Phillies fan, obviously, but I also liked the Red Sox when they had Ortiz, Ramirez, Kevin Youkilis, and Pedroia. So being there was pretty cool. And then obviously New York. New York was just like more of a show. Like getting to the ballpark, it took a long time, but like the food there was sick. The clubhouse was, one of the best. And just being out on the field, the lights were just different. Like the atmosphere was just, it was just different. I can't really describe it. And it wasn't like the stadium was packed. I think it was like a weekday games, but just the atmosphere and like being in Yankee Stadium and seeing Judge and Stanton was pretty cool. And I mean, playing in Toronto was sick. When the people ask me what my favorite stadium to play in, it's Toronto because the fans were awesome. They were so loud. They showed out every game. And I just like playing under the roof. They made it so loud. And every time I walked to the plate, like it was dope. Like I never really take that for granted. And, I still get chills thinking about it. My favorite at bat was when I got a pinch hit against the Rays against Taj Bradley, I think is his name, right? That's his first name. Yeah. And I haven't been playing, like I've been playing like maybe a week and a half. And they gave me like a loud ass like ovation. Like, and I got goosebumps. I struck out on 3 pitches, but the ovation was sick. Like them, like going out to my back. I haven't played in a couple of weeks. And so that was like one of my favorite at bats, even though I struck out on 3 pitches. It was still pretty sick.
Is that another thing you're kind of working on? Obviously, I mean, you can't really prepare for the pinch hitting stuff, but like, have you talked to guys that have done it or maybe like a mental skills coach or anything along those lines? Because obviously it's something you can't prepare for, but there is guys that have made a living like Matt Stairs-esque who have been really good pinch hitters. Like, is that something that you've been kind of working on mentally or because it's a hard task to do, right?
Yeah, it is definitely tough because like you don't know who you're gonna face like before the game. Like you obviously have the names and the guys who are in the pen and everything like that, so you study them. But like, I don't think anything can really prepare you for that. Like mentally, like there's nothing really you can do. Obviously, you study the pitchers, what they throw, how they throw them. Like that's all you can really do, and it's all about like making sure you are ready, like making sure you have enough swings in the cage beforehand, just making sure you're ready, like mentally and physically. Like you don't want to go in there cold. So just making sure you're prepared before you got told you're going up to the plate. Just always be ready, even though you might not get in at bat. Just make sure you're just set and locked in.
Yeah, because Horowitz came on here too, and he said he was like nervous to pinch hit, and Chabby said just attack it like you would a normal at bat, right?
You read the pitcher and know what he's going to throw, but like don't treat anything differently or try not to because like it shouldn't be different. It's treated like your first at bat of the game. That's all you got to really do, right? Like obviously it's a bigger situation or the situation might be different, but try to treat it the same like your first at bat. That's the way I look at it.
We had a question from one of the Discord people, something I need to know too, because I asked Jano this last year. As a glasses guy, I would play with glasses and I had a fat face, so they would fog up an incredible amount. Are you dealing with that same problem too? Does everyone deal with that?
Yeah, it depends on the night. Like in Toronto, it's kind of easier just because like it's not really humid. Like it's pretty cool in there. But there are some night games where it's like it fogs up and you can't see anything. So like sometimes I got to put it just a
like
little
over
bit
your
farther.
Nose a little bit.
Yeah, like put it farther away from my face to make sure it clears up, and then put them right back on. 10 seconds later, same thing. So you're gonna have to like each pitch, you're gonna have to do it and take it off. But it is tough. to do. But that's like once every 6 games that happens, you
Do
know.
we think laser eye surgery is gonna hurt your ability to see the ball or what?
No, I just never really. I thought about it, but I'm like, you know, I got the mustache, I got the glasses, it fits the look. Don't try to change anything up. Just keep what everything I got going. You know,
I
so
agree.
keep, you know.
I agree. I have a question from Spencer Horowitz. He texted me this. He told me to bring up Toledo. Does that city ring a bell, or is there a certain story that you can maybe give the listener a little inside scoop on from Toledo? Because you said it's funny.
Yeah, so Toledo, it's actually a pretty nice city. It's probably one of not nice, but like it's a fun city. Like it's you never really think about it. It's like it's pretty big. The field's close to the hotel, so we went out one night. I think it was Friday night, and I just had way one or too many shots. I would say tequila shots. It was me, a couple other dudes. Obviously, Spence was there, and Spence was my roommate. And oh my gosh, like I said, I had one too many tequila shots, and I felt all right. Like I felt like buzzed, and you know, I felt okay. So we went back to the hotel. Then like 1 o'clock or 2 a.m., I was puking my brains out, like all over the bathroom, waking up Spence, and I puked probably like 5 times, and I was like, all right, I'm good. And I wake up around like 11, 12, and I'm doing the same thing. I was throwing up in the bathroom. I was like almost, I thought I was dying. Like I thought and then Spence was like trying to feed me bread and water. He's like, dude, you gotta eat. I was like, dude, I can't eat. And so I ate the bread, threw up the bread. And then it was like 2 o'clock before we were going to the field. And I was like, dude, I can't come in. Like, I can't do this. Like, there's no way I can play. And our manager, Casey, was like, dude, if you're in the lineup, you're playing. Unless you're literally dying, you're playing. So I went in, I did everything. I did like obviously all the pregame workouts. Like I hit BP, but I was not in good shape. Everyone was like, dude, you look like hell. My eyes were bloodshot. It was just one of those. And I went over 2 with 2 walks, so it wasn't like a bad game. But I felt like shit like the whole day. And I drank all the water. I tried to take as many pre-work as I can to just like make sure I can go up. But it wasn't my best performance when it came to, drinking.
500 OBP. That's all you can really ask for.
I salvaged the day. I got 2 walks. I think I struck out twice, but I got on base twice. That's all you can really ask for.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure we won the game. So as long as
that's all that matters at that point.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
So you have Matt Hague, obviously now with the major league team. What was his kind of impact on you? Because everyone says awesome guy, done it before, done the grind. How do you feel about him being with the major league club now? And kind of what his impact was on you?
No, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, he texted me and Spence before I found out, and he was like, "Any good coffee places in Toronto?" And I was like, hell yeah. I think he has got a position there. But he's just a really good guy. Like you can talk to him about other things than baseball, but he's also just one of the smartest hitting guys that I've ever been around. He just knows the swing. He knows you personally. He knows how to kind of reach you, and he doesn't really try. He knows everyone's different, so he doesn't say one thing to a guy and says it to the other. He knows your swing is different from mine to Spence's to Jano's to Springer. So he's not gonna sugarcoat anything and tell you the same thing. And he put me in a good spot mentally. Gets me confidence, and he just, like I said, knows the swing, knows what the pitchers are trying to do, has a game plan for us. Like obviously we have our own personal game plan, but he makes sure like, all right, this is what the pitcher's going to do. This is what you should do. Obviously don't try to cover the whole zone because you can't do that as a hitter. So he just knows just everything when it comes to hitting, and he's just a really smart dude. So I'm glad that we have him there, and a lot of guys are going to benefit from him being there.
Yeah, I mean, Ernie talked about how good he was. I mean, and our guy YJ's posted a video of him swinging it a little bit in the big leagues. A nice little finish there at the end of his fucking swing.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Up your little bat tip, and he had a nice swing.
Yeah, really he has a nice swing. Listen, I don't know what it is, and I don't know if maybe major leaguers like this, but I liked playing for guys that actually did it. I'm not saying did it in the major leagues, but actually played. Like, is that something that maybe you kind of not have a little more respect for, but you're like, okay, I'm going to listen to like this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. He played in the show. Like, seeing the fact that he actually did it, made it to the show, was really successful, I believe, in AAA, does that add to it? Like, make you trust him a little bit more than, let's say, a guy like me fucking giving you hitting tips?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that definitely goes through my mind if a guy tells me, or like, yeah, like even like you guys know Teacher Man, right?
Oh, oh, there's going to
Oh
be some
yeah, we
people
know
who listen
teacher
to this who
man.
are very happy that
No,
you're
like
talking about Teacher Man.
what he teaches and everything like that, but like he's so like one dimensional. Like I like what he does. Like don't get me wrong. Like I
Get the knob
believe
to the
that.
sky.
Like yeah, but he's like because he hasn't been there and he thinks okay, my way or the highway. And like, dude, you haven't played baseball, so like, you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. But I do like his stuff. But I don't think that that works for every single hitter. And so, but hey, he knows that one thing that might not work for him might work for someone else. That's what I like about Hague. He's not like so one dimensional. He believes in like one type of like swing, what the swing should do, but how you get there is totally different from each one. You got to have a different mindset. So that's what I like really about Hague. And like I said, he's been there. His swing is literally the opposite of anyone's I've ever seen. He was up here, had a toe tap, like he went down. So like the fact that he did that and still succeeded. And he tells us that all the time. He's like, "Don't try to swing like me. That you can't do that." So like, I like that about him because he's not one dimensional. He knows each person's different, so that he gets you in a good spot.
Yeah, no, I see. I mean, Matt Hague seems like just the greatest dude ever. And obviously, Luplo talked about how good he was. He was there for a short period of time, Luplo, but he obviously talked glowingly about like the approaches and the
Yeah,
meetings and like the stuff that he said. Like, pretty much he said to Luplo, like, I'm not going to get in your way. Obviously, I know you have big league time, but like, if you need me to be here for you, if I see something in your swing, like, I'm going to bring it up to you. And if you use it, use it. If you don't, you don't. So that's what I do
yeah,
respect, the guy that's not going to get in the way of people and
no,
all of that. But going into like that team last year, playing defense behind and hitting behind that pitching staff. How awesome was that, man? I mean, just from the normal perspective. I mean, you have the best pitching staff in baseball. You're playing behind guys like Kevin Gossman, Chris Bassett, even Jordan Hicks was really good last year. I mean, how awesome was that to just know where if I put up 3-4 runs, we're winning a baseball game.
yeah. You said it. It was the best pitching staff in baseball. Not just the starters, but the relievers too. I mean, Mesa had a one. Swanee was lights out. Like Romano, Hicksy, like every single person up and down that pitching staff was the best. And so playing defense, they make it easier because they're going to give you 6 quality innings. They're going to throw strikes. They're going to work fast. They're just smart pitchers too. So like, I kind of am lucky that I'm around this pitching staff because they are the best. And yeah, and like hitting's tough. Like we definitely didn't perform last year like we wanted to because we did have the best pitching staff in baseball, and they put up a quality start and gave us quality arms out of the pen every single time, and we kind of let them down in that aspect. We didn't put up any runs when we played most of the time, so like that was tough. But hopefully this year it's something different because we do have the talent offensively to put up some runs and really go far. And because with this pitching staff, we just hit while they pitch. We're I think the top 3 best teams in all the American
Easily.
League. So like like easily this pitching staff is the best. So like as long as we hit and take care of business on the offensive side, we're going to be 100-win team in my opinion.
For sure.
Where is watching a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. batting practice up there in entertainment factor of things you've seen in your life?
It's sick. Like he doesn't just go up there and hits homers. Like he works on stuff. Like that's what people get like wrong about him is like he does have light tower power and he'll let it loose sometimes, but like he's working on stuff nonstop because he wants to get better. He wants to make sure he's in a good spot for the team. And Chapman's batting practice was pretty sick too. He hit the ball so far. And I'm like, even Varsho too. How the hell do these guys do this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like I'm never going to be able to do this. Like I was just like in all of them. And I'm standing right next to him. Like I asked him all the time. He's like, dude, you're sick. Like I literally like even Varsho's not the biggest guy, but he hits the ball so hard. And I'm like, damn, these guys are just so talented. It's crazy.
It's Vladdy's. I've seen obviously it's just Major League Baseball and the Jays always tweet as VP and you like beat writers always tweet and stuff like it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd what that guy's able to do. Have like the vets talk to you or like is Vladdy helpful? Is Bo Bichette helpful? Like have they seen stuff in your swing that they've talked to you about? Like are they like an extra hitting coach that's added to the team with how good they are?
Yeah, Bo's a big guy when it came to like talking to me. Like he loved talking about the swing and like what he tries to do and like what he sees in my swing. And like it's cool to hear it from him, like a player's, like a really good player's perspective. And you know, because hitting coaches can tell you all they want, you know, but like hearing it from Bo and having him say it to me, because he's had so much success and he knows the swing better than anyone, and he knows his swing. And it's cool to have him say to me like he likes what I do, stick to my approach. And you know, because he's kind of literally the opposite of how I hit. Like he swings at everything. He makes 99% contact, puts the ball in play, can shoot the ball the other way on command. And that's literally the opposite of me. I kind of take pitches, kind of, you know, make sure I'm a little bit more selective. And we're just two different types of hitters, but we kind of have a lot of things in common when it comes to like what we're thinking at the plate. So like it's kind of cool to see him and talk to me about it, because he's just a smart hitter in general. And there's a bunch of other guys too. Talk to Vladdy, you know, just a bunch of chat, Wit, same things, Spring. They're all just smart hitters. They kind of know what they do well, and that's the biggest thing, is knowing what you do well and how to incorporate that in your game.
Has the team talked to you about kind of your outlook for the start of this next season, or is that something you think is going to happen when you get to spring training?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to like a lot of the coaching staff, and it's like kind of the same thing. Like go to spring training, fighting for a job. You know, the all season's not done yet, so like you never know. But just go out there and just compete. Don't worry about, you know, rumors, or like just go out there and compete for a job, no matter where that is, and you know, just do what you do best, and you know, just go from there. Don't try to press or kind of have that sight or expectation on something, because anything could happen. So just make sure you're in the good spot and just go out there and compete.
When are you going to get down to the facility?
So I'm going down actually next week to Florida. I'm visiting my buddy in Miami for a couple of weeks. Griffin Conine, he was on the Blue Jays. He got traded.
Yeah.
So I'm staying at his house for a couple of weeks, just me and him training, hitting, enjoying the Florida weather, and then I'm going to drive over, I guess, the 1st of February. I mean, and just get down there early, get situated, and make sure I'm ready for the first game.
Are you a golf guy during spring training? Because me and Avery last year we'd play Warzone with Schwarber and Bryson and stuff like that, and they would just be golfing every single fucking day. Like, are you a big golf guy during spring training?
That's why I want to go down there early before the game start, so I can play golf every single day.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
We get done at like 11:30, 12, like most days before it kind of gets busy. So like there's kind of nothing to do down there besides golf. So like might as well just go out there, play 18, and then get done by 5, and then just kind of do it the next day too. Like it's a lot of fun.
How pumped are you to be able to leave spring training games early now? Like, you're a big league guy. You'll be playing till the 3rd, 4th inning, then you're the fuck out of there. Like, I mean, I know it's not talked about enough, but that's an underrated thing. But you're going to be able to get the fuck out of there in the 3rd, 4th. You're not waiting until the 7th to the 9th inning to fucking play. Like, you're buzzing now.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get invited to big league spring training last year, which is like kind of a crazy to think about. And but yeah, I actually was thinking about that the other day. Now that you say that, I was like, damn, do I get to leave like in the 5th, like when I'm done my at bats, or do I have to stay? I was literally thinking that. So I don't know. It might be a day-to-day thing to where, you know, if someone else leaves, I'll go with them, or I'll stay with the all 9 and, you know, cheer on a different minor league guys. But like, it is pretty cool to think about that I could leave, but I might stay on some games just to cheer the guys on.
Well, the thing is, right, it's like there's nothing cooler, and I just have glimpses of like Bryce Harper leaving a game in the middle and the camera pans to him when he's just walking down the fucking baseline into the
signing stuff.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing ever. Like, it's rock star shit. Now, that's what happens when you're a big leaguer. So I would take full blown advantage of that, Schneider. You get the fuck out of there. It rocks.
Those guys paid their dues. I'm still technically a rookie, so like I don't know if I'm at pull yet. But it is. I was, to be honest, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, damn, that would be cool. Like if it's in the 5th inning, just to grab all my shit and just go. But we'll see. We'll see. Well, we'll play it by ear when I get down there. But you know, I'll probably watch all 9 just to see. Because all my.
Are you a spring training guy? I mean, obviously, I personally hated practice. I know Avery did. If you look at his fucking ERA, no disrespect, obviously, but like, it's just so repetitive, right? You're doing PFPs, you're fielding a million ground balls, you're hitting BP. Like, does it get at a certain point, like closer to the end of February? Are you like, can we just get the fucking games going here? Like, does it hit that point for you?
For sure. I mean, especially in minor league spring training, like that's like the biggest thing. Cause like big league side, I don't really know what they do when it comes to like day-to-day stuff. I'm sure it's like more laid back than us, but like minor league side, it got so repetitive. He's like, dude, we do this every year. And I know like you have to do it, but it's just like, dude, we've been playing baseball since we were 7. Like we know how to, pick guys off, but we have to do it. That's the thing. It might suck at the time, but like it should be done. But it's kind of drawn out sometimes. Like maybe it takes too long that day or stuff like that. But like it's stuff that you have to do. But it's like, dude, we do this every single year. We kind of know how to field a bunt and throw to first base. Yeah. But it's something you got to do. It gets boring for sure.
It's got to be nice at least to have one of the better facilities for spring training complexes, right? Like some of the other guys are. Oh,
like the A's one is dog shit. Like the
Yeah.
A's one is dog shit. I'm pretty sure half of Major League Baseball have dog shit facility. I think the Jays one has to be the best, right?
For sure. I mean, our old place was literally, I think, one of the worst. I can't speak for like Arizona teams. I hear the A's are really bad, but our old place was terrible. And compared to our new place, it's literally 100 times better. Like, I'm like, it's literally awesome. I mean, have you guys seen pictures of it, right?
Yeah. I've seen Jano used to send me fucking pictures of, like, cause I think last year might have been the first year. You send me like pictures and stuff like that. It looks insane. It looks like a fucking. It looks like you're going to the moon when you step into that facility.
Yeah, it's the real deal. The only thing that sucks is the stadium is separate from the actual complex. You have to drive over, take a bus, but like the actual complex is awesome. I mean, they put so much money into it. They put so much effort, and we got lucky with it because a lot of teams have that complex, and we're like I said, we're kind of lucky, and I'm grateful for it because you get so much more done. There's so many more access to like pools or hot tubs, more massage tables for guys. Like it's just easier for everyone because it's just bigger and there's more room. That's the biggest thing. It's not just because they have cooler stuff. There's just more room because at the old place there was literally 3 tables that people could get worked on, and now there's 10 or like there's like 20. Like there's a minor league side too, so there's more. But like it's just a lot more room.
Let's draw our line in the sand here for autograph seekers this spring, because obviously I talk about it with some guys like Bryson and all that. They overdo the fuck out of it. Can we maybe are you cool with implementing a system where it's 1 autograph per person? Because obviously in spring training, it's the fucking worst. That's when you get the vultures. That's when you get the dudes where you're signing an entire fucking binder. Have you established a set of rules before you start signing autographs where you're like, it's 1 autograph per person? Like, I'm not signing an entire fucking binder. Have you established those rules?
Kind of. Like the only rule I kind of do is like I'm gonna do all the kids first that I can get to. I'm not gonna do a 40-year-old Joe Schmo before I do a kid. That's like the biggest thing I'll do. But it is tough because like when do you cut the line off? It's like, is it after 6? Is it after like 20? Like when do you do it? Yeah, and I'm not gonna do 2 things per person because that's a pain in the ass. Like I just signed something for you, but it is tough. Like each day is gonna be different. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna sign the kids stuff first. But like it's tough to draw that line during the moment. It's like, oh, I gotta get going, but then people are gonna get mad at you for doing that. It's a double-edged sword kind of.
Because this is your first spring training really as like a big dog, like where you get recognized everywhere you go.
People are gonna have your jersey.
Yeah, the jerseys. Like there's gonna be more of the autograph seekers begging you to sign their type of stuff. I know you probably saw in Toronto, but have you gone to the point where have you had any experiences where you're like to a guy, listen, man, I've signed 40 fucking things for you here. Like you're here every single day outside the Rogers Center. Do you have any funny stories like that? Because Bryson in Toronto actually had a bad story where he was on his way to breakfast to meet me, and these people were waiting outside, and he said, like, I'm going for breakfast. I can't sign right now. I'll sign after. And they wrote a massive thing on Twitter about how he's like a dog shit human being or all that. So do you have any stories like that?
No, nothing like comes to mind when it comes to that. But like obviously, like when we're at the hotel and there's guys like outside, I'm just going straight past that. I'm not signing any of that stuff. Like because the field's different. If they're at the field, you definitely sign for them. But like every game, it's kind of that doesn't suck. But like we have to come out that gate. Is it gate 14 or gate 13?
It's gate 13 because gate 14 is the media one.
Yeah. So we walk out gate 13, and depending on how fast I get dressed and get out of there, there's about like 50 people. And
really?
Yeah, there's a lot. Like there's a shit ton of people, and most people like ask for like a picture. Not everyone asks for an autograph, but like some people are just so rude about it. Like they're just shoving stuff in my face, and I can't really say no to a person. But it definitely is a nuisance sometimes just because like, dude, I'm trying to get to my hotel. Like obviously people know I'm like leaving but it definitely gets a little bit and like I said, a nuisance sometimes. But I can't say no to people, especially like a woman or a kid. Like,
Yeah, no, for sure. It's the old dudes, man. I got in a fight with it,
yeah,
and I told the story on the pod. I got in a fight with a guy at the Great American Ballpark. I drove like 8-9 hours to go see Luplo. They were facing the Reds, and I'm in the middle of a conversation with Luplo, and this grown man comes over to us and says, "Excuse me, like, what's your name? Can I get you to autograph like some cards?" And I looked at him, I was like, what the like I literally like I got in a full blown argument with him. And Luplo was like laughing. Obviously, he was like, "Relax, dude, relax." But it just some people just don't know. Like they don't have I guess like a line. They just
yeah,
blow past it with that type of stuff, and then you see it on fucking eBay 30 minutes later. If it's kids, I get it. Obviously, listen, I used to be that kid when I was younger, but it's just crazy to me like how absurd some of these adults are. It's absurd. I couldn't imagine being like Gossman or imagine being like Vladdy. It's insane.
yeah. Like funny you say that too, because I kind of had a similar story. I was obviously living in the hotel, and when Danner first got called up, like his parents were in the hotel lobby, and I was like saying hi to them and like greeting them, and hugging them, and we were talking for like about 5 minutes, and then this like dude comes up. I was mid conversation with Danner's mom, and he just shoves like a big like binder full like cards in my face. I'm like, yo, sign this, please. I was like, obviously, I'm in a conversation, dude. I didn't say that, but I was like, sure, man. Like, I was talking here, but I'll sign it. But it was just like that type of stuff. I kind of really dropped just because like people have no sense of boundaries, or like
Is there
they
not
don't have a line.
is there not a parking garage like you guys could go to? Because I know obviously a lot of you guys walk through that type of stuff. Do a lot of players just walk to the games? Because in Philadelphia, when I went to go visit Bryson, not to talk about Bryson again, it's just like they have their own separate private parking garage where they don't have to walk past fans or meet fans and all that.
Yeah. So well, like I lived in the hotel, so like in order to get to the lobby, you have to like go through, or in order to get down, you have to go through the lobby. It's like there was no other entrance way, which is kind of dumb. Like I wish they kind of had a different entrance way,
Yeah.
but it is what it. But you run into so many people in the lobby or like outside, and they're just asking for autographs and pictures, which is fine. It is what it is. But
Yeah, it's just
definitely,
when it's like when it's repetitive and you've done it for like the same people 100 times. I understand that.
yeah,
But last thing
yeah.
that I want to talk about here, obviously going into next year, what are your like goals that you've set? Obviously, we talked about high expectations, all of that. What are your goals? Like obviously the first one is to make the team, make the be on the opening day roster, play opening day at Rogers Center, which by the way, you haven't seen that yet. It's fucking crazy. It's the loud like it when that stadium is sold out, especially opening day, it's absolutely bananas. But what is your kind of goals going into next year that you've set for yourself? If you have any?
Yeah, I mean, obviously make the opening day roster. I want to start, like that's the main goal, and I want to contribute in any way possible. But sometimes that's not the way it happens. But you just got to make sure I'm going out there and just kind of give everything I got each day. Like that's the one thing that I can really control, and you got to let everything else kind of take care of itself, because I don't make the decisions on whether I make the team, be in the lineup, or stuff like that. Just make sure I'm ready and prepared each day. And I know that's a cliche answer, but it is what I believe in. And so just give everything I got each day and make sure, I put myself in a good position to, be successful and, make the team, start, pinch hit, whatever it is.
Love that. Anything else, Avery, you got for our guy?
No, I just appreciate your time, Davis. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, listen, man,
Yeah.
we're fired up for you, dude. Obviously, like I said, I don't know what it is. I just gravitate towards the guys that weren't first round draft picks that had everything handed to them in life. Like the Bassett's is like a blue collar guy like you, Swanee, all these type of guys that I've become friends with are just guys that not were looked over upon or whatever, but they were guys that I had to literally grind their fucking dick off, had nothing handed to them. So I'm excited for you next year. Obviously, all of Blue Jays fans are. So let's hit some bombs off minor leaguers in spring training. Let's crack that roster. We will see you March 1st to 6th. We'll get some content going there for sure. And keep doing your thing, man. We're so pumped for you, really are. And happy to have this friendship here going into next year.
Hell yeah, guys. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I mean, it's always a blast talking to you guys. So, and I'll see you guys March 1st, and, we'll have a good 5 days or so.